Hi there, this is Chris from PC Gamer. I finished Dishonored for the first time a few days ago, and since then I've been looking into ways to make a second playthrough more challenging. The first time around I set the difficulty to very hard and didn't use quick save, but it's not an especially tough game, particularly later on when you can stop time and possess enemies. It's at its best when it's played creatively, and the more you can do to encourage creativity the better, so I decided to come up with 3 sets of rules to make repeat playthroughs more interesting. You'll also notice that I've disabled the interface for a few of these with the exception of the crosshair. I really recommend doing this as it encourages improvisation and leads to more interesting situations. That said, losing the objective markers can make some goals very difficult if you've never done them before, so it's better to play the game with them switched on the first time around. Okay, first up is a playstyle I'm calling, What a Weird Dream! Oh well, I guess it was nothing. In this take on Dishonored, Corvo is a man who escaped from prison, had a dream about a flying goth, woke up with a tattoo and then never thought about it ever again. This is a Corvo who has no idea that he has magic powers, and who presumably suspects that the heart in his pocket is an elaborate practical joke. So, no magic. That means no active or passive powers, no runes, no bone charms, no supernatural assists of any kind. This changes the game substantially. Without blink, you need to climb the old-fashioned way, and carefully watching guard behaviour is the key to stealth when you can't possess them or teleport behind them. You'll need all the gadgets you can get, particularly an upgraded crossbow, which means you need money, and that means stealing everything that isn't nailed down. Dishonored already has a few things in common with Thief, and playing it like this brings out the similarities even more. It's really satisfying to take down a target with no help from the outsider, because screw that guy.
And indeed, sailors off the shores of Pandysia tell of great winged ships.
The second approach is the exact opposite. Let's call it, oh dear, what a terrible accident. The idea here is to think about the perspective of a detective trying to figure out Corvo's assassinations after the fact. You want to commit the perfect crime, and that means leaving no trace and no evidence that an external agent was ever involved. This means no sword, no crossbow, because stab wounds and protruding bolts are clear evidence of Corvo's presence. You're not allowed to choke guards unconscious, because when they wake up they'd remember being attacked. Everything has to look like an accident. You'll need powers that help with stealth, particularly dark vision, upgraded blink, and possession. Devouring Swarm is very handy for distracting or killing guards. Dunwall is in the middle of a rat plague, so I think it's fair to assume that someone discovering a rat-eaten corpse is going to put it down to bad luck, rather than a wizard did it. This mode also prevents you from going for many of the non-lethal approaches, as they clearly require the involvement of a third party. In these cases, your targets have to die, but it's fine to make it all look like a tremendous cock-up and then vanish into the shadows.
I instruct the Lord Regent to burn the Black Book. Understand? Burn it!
What Black Book? What do you mean?
Helen, wound them, and then die of plague, you useless incompetent! I never liked you.
What? Campbell? He's dead.
Finally, let's try turning Dishonored on its head. Corvo Atano, the loudest man in Dunwall. This is Corvo by way of Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride, and John Cleese's take on Lancelot in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, with enough neck stabbing to fill an E3 conference. Screw stealth, this is about sword fighting every single person who stands in your way. The twist is you have to duel them fairly, and that means they need to see you coming. That means no aerial assassinations, no backstabs, no crossbow, and no lethal use of powers. Instead, use your pistol to fire a warning shot, and loudly announce your presence by making a spectacular entrance, preferably involving an explosion. You're only allowed to use powers to ensure that fights are fair, so you can use time stop to dispose of enemy bullets and grenades, and blink is useful for separating guards out from the pack and for trolling enemies. Otherwise, you want to put runes into Vitality and Bloodthirsty, and if you're playing on very hard then you need to get really good at parrying. Nonetheless, this is a really fun way to play the game, particularly if you've been toiling away on a perfect Ghost playthrough. It's less haphazard than going all out with powers and abilities, and enemies seem genuinely confused by your total disregard for your own safety. Hopefully this has given you some ideas how to make your next Dishonored playthrough funnier, harder, and more interesting. Let us know which of these rule sets you like best in the comments, and please subscribe for more videos from PC Gamer.